Welcome to Realtors Unfiltered, where we pull back the curtain on the world of real estate. No fluff, no filters, just real stories, real advice, and the realities of buying, selling, and everything in between. This is your host, Inas Latif. Whether you're a client looking for your dream home or an agent seeking inspiration and insight, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, I have with me Amber Kieffer, a realtor with us here. And Amber, I have the first question I have for you is, what drew you to real estate?
Wow. I have been thinking about this because I figured it was one of the first things that you would ask. I initially went to college for interior design, so I've always been kind of drawn to spaces and improving those spaces. Initially, I was going to go into commercial design to do stuff like hospitals or fun restaurants and things like that. And then I found the career in real estate where I could kind of lead people to their own spaces, which was a really good feeling as well. So
wow, I did not know that about you.
Really?
I learned something new today. Yeah, that's awesome. When did you start your journey in real estate?
2016 was when I started looking into it and signed up for the CUSAC Center, actually.
Yeah. So you saw changes in the market since 2016 then?
Definitely.
What changes have you seen, or what are your thoughts about that? 9 years in the business, that's quite some time.
It is, yeah. And I haven't been full-time the whole time, but there's definitely been ebbs and flows I can see with my clients. Most tellingly, the last few years where everything has gotten a lot more difficult for people in the buying side of things. That was a little scary for me at first, but talking to agents who have been in the industry longer, it is just sort of part of a roller coaster of the market.
Yeah, so knowing how to navigate through it to guide people properly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So you kind of have to take the punches as they come.
Do you wear a helmet?
Sometimes.
What would you say is your unique approach with buyers and sellers, especially in this market? As you mentioned, it's a difficult market for buyers. What approach do you take with buyers?
I mean, I don't know that it's unique, but I really do try to understand where they're coming from and what their goals are when they start, and also not even what their end goals are, but what is scaring them about jumping in right now, and kind of starting from that perspective. Because a lot of people just don't know what they don't know, or they don't know where to start, and that will stop them dead in their tracks. So kind of just leading them without any expectation into what they don't know, and trying to think of the right word, I guess, just sort of introducing them to the first steps.
Yeah.
And then they get more comfortable as we go.
How do you do that? Do you do that by asking questions? Do you do that by, just telling them what the process looks like? Or is it a combo of both?
I would say it's a combo of both. I definitely give them an overview of what the process is going to look like. And then we kind of dig into just where they're at now. I kind of like to know what their work is, where they've lived, what kind of hobbies they like, and that sort of builds a picture of their personality that I can work with and get to know better, and then I can share some information, and that gets us to a place where we're both more comfortable.
Yeah. So really understanding their lifestyle, their wants, their needs, and then helping them guide them from there. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you work often with sellers?
Not as often. I'm hoping to get more into that.
Yeah. Well, tell us more about your experience in terms of working with sellers so far. How is it different than working with buyers?
I feel that sellers, especially in this market, know what to expect a little bit more. They know what their outcome they want from the situation to be. And so you have to work with them on that specific goal. When you're working with a buyer, you kind of have to start big and work your way down into what they want and what they need and what they don't need. But with a seller, they know their house and they know what they want to get for it. So you have to lean into that a little bit more, kind of highlight the parts that they love about the house, but that are also attractive to buyers.
Sometimes sellers are often wrong about what their home is worth. They may underprice it or overprice it in their mind, not knowing or having enough data to understand what it's really worth and why. How do you overcome that with a seller who may be thinking their home is worth a lot more than what it really is, or a buyer, ready, willing, able buyer is willing to pay for it in any given market, obviously?
I guess I would have to start showing them other properties too, and kind of, I know a lot of people are number crunchers, so showing how many days on the market and then what it looked like, not just is it nearby. So all those little details, and then without knocking anything of theirs, you just sort of point out that there are different people that have different priorities and what they want in their space, and we're going to highlight this for the buyers that like this. And maybe we can't lean into every single detail that you've got here, but we're going to pull out some of the really big value ones and lean into those.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Often they get, there are homeowners, we're attached to our homes, obviously, especially if they lived in it for a long time, have a lot of memories. They often value things in their home that maybe are so specific to them, and it doesn't make it more valuable to the buyers in the market. Yeah. But data is very important, and being able to provide proper and correct data to really help a homeowner understand what their home is worth is key. Yeah, definitely. And at the end of the day, the buyers really determine what price they're willing to pay for a particular home. In the buyer's mind, what is it worth today to a ready, willing, able buyer, of course, not the ones that are looking around, of course. Based on all of this, who would you say is your ideal client, or maybe you get the most joy and satisfaction when you're working with?
From experience, I really like working with first-time home buyers just because it is exciting to see them reach that goal. We were in the group chat talking about how often we're the people that find out when someone's pregnant or when they've gotten engaged or what their plans are for their business when they get this new property. So I find that to be a very exciting part too.
Yeah. I myself love working with first-time home buyers because I feel it's so rewarding as well. And they really, really rely on our help and guidance. And I take extreme caution, of course, with first-time home buyers because everything is new to them. They really need to have a full understanding of what's going on and get comfortable with it. So sometimes they need a little more hand-holding than maybe another buyer who's bought a few homes over the years. Don't you agree?
It's a journey.
Yeah, it is a journey for sure. With sellers, especially in this market when a lot of people or homeowners are holding on to their homes, it could be due to shortage of inventory, so they're really struggling to find somewhere else to go. Or it could be because they have such great interest rates and it doesn't make sense for them to downsize or upsize at this time due to that reason. But often we're dealing with the 4 Ds, the divorce, death, diamonds, and diapers, right?
Love that.
Right? Yep. That's when someone really will have to make a move regardless of if they want to or not. It's almost forced upon them because of the life change that they're going through. And it could be, in divorce, death, and could be sad. With diamonds and diapers, it could be more of a happy time. How do you deal with the different emotions that people have when they're selling their homes?
I mean, I think definitely tread lightly in some of those situations. Yes, some are really good, exciting, new beginnings for people, and then some are just an ending that they want ended. What was the actual question there? Like, how do I deal with
their emotions and help them maybe manage their feelings and emotions while making decisions, right? Because sometimes if you're under stress or under different situations that you're either happy, very happy, or very sad, you could make the wrong decision, not thinking clearly.
Yeah. That's definitely, I think, a time to let people talk and even get excited or even get upset and let them get it all out so that you can kind of see where they're coming from on an emotional level too. And I would say at that point, probably maybe we discussed everything. We talked about your fears, your worries, your concerns, your excitement. Still sleep on it. I would give them maybe a night to like review things and talk with other family members. I like to have people reach out to people that they find they can trust in their life for bouncing ideas off of. I think that's a good place to start.
Right. That's great advice. So, Amber, you're practicing under a team's umbrella. How do you balance your personal brand versus the team brand? It could get tricky sometimes in these situations. How did you figure out how to balance it? And
I'm pretty new to the team atmosphere in real estate. My first 8-ish years, I was operating by myself. And I don't know that I ever fully developed a brand per se, but I don't think that was anything I was super worried about joining the team. And I'm not sure if I just felt comfortable with everybody there. And it's kind of nice to watch them do their thing too. And I can see how everyone's personality shines in their social media and the way that they do business. I think that just works to sort of encourage me to dive into mine.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Was transitioning from a single agent to working under a team difficult for you?
Not for me, no. I was sort of seeking more of a social atmosphere in the office setting anyway. So it was kind of a really kismet situation that happened that brought us all together.
Yeah. So it sounds like it was a positive thing for you in that way.
I view it that way.
But was the transitioning period difficult for you in terms of like maybe letting your clients know or, dealing with previous broker, any situations that stand out to you?
I was a little uncomfortable just to share that with both clients and even to just approach my former broker because there was nothing really. I knew that I needed a different setting. It was not anything that was problematic or negative. I just knew that I had wanted to dive into my career more, and this felt like the resources that would support that as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's amazing that you knew something that you needed and you went for it.
Thank you.
Yeah. What would be your advice to other agents who are maybe considering joining a team but possibly afraid or, are having a hard time dealing with that transition period or facing it?
I would say to keep an open mind and don't be afraid to ask questions because if you don't know how something works, that makes it more scary.
Right.
So.
Or you could make a costly mistake to yourself or to your client.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely want to avoid that. If you would look back in the, for the past 9 years that you have been in the industry, what would be one lesson learned the hard way that maybe someone else can learn from you sharing it?
I feel that I got very overwhelmed at first because I just jumped on anything that I could. I was staying up late. I was getting up early. I was doing, running to show houses. And you do have to really hone in on what the value is that you're bringing to the situation so that you're not expelling all this energy doing, you're learning, of course, but you still have to kind of get yourself situated for what's going to be the most positive for you as well.
Mm-hmm. I would say, like, from my experience over the years, the first thing a new agent should do is have a business plan and be very strategic, to your point. Mm-hmm. Be very strategic based on their business plan on activities they should be doing, activities they shouldn't maybe be wasting their time on, even if they're, learning in the process. Right. Like, they could learn but be productive at the same time.
Yeah, be pointed about it.
Yeah.
Be intentional.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I have, many funny stories that I experienced myself with some clients, other agents. Sometimes they're annoying at that time, but funny later, and we can laugh about it. What funny story you have with a client that stands out to you that you remember?
I Actually, I do have one that comes to mind. I was working with a buyer who was coming from out of the area, so he was in town, and I was showing him around to several different properties during the day. And he had like ankle socks on under his loafers, and you take your shoes off for most of these properties, and his sock kept falling down into his shoe. He was getting really annoyed with it. So before our last property, he threw his socks out, took them off and threw them out. And we walked right in and they were like, please remove your shoes. So he had to walk around barefoot. I just couldn't believe he actually chucked them in the garbage right in the middle of our showings. So
well, he needed new socks.
That was a memorable client for sure.
Are there any other stories that stand out to you that maybe were annoying at that time, but now looking back at it, you're like, okay, I can laugh at this now?
I've definitely had some tension over items being removed from a property, like before the final walkthrough, and to the extent that it almost like a TV.
Wait, did you have the buyer or did you have the seller?
I was working with the buyer.
You were working with the buyer.
And the seller had removed a TV mount from their fireplace, their brick fireplace, and he threw a fit. Like, he got so upset he almost pulled out of the deal.
The buyer did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he did end up getting the house and everything was fine, but there was a night where I was like, we're going to lose this over a TV mount. I considered going
the mount, not even the TV.
Just the mount.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I almost
How did it get resolved? I was going to say, did you end up putting one up?
I gave him some time to cool off and then we reconvened. I think he just was primed to have a fight with somebody. Like, he was just very
high stress.
He was intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, in that moment, it is high stress as it is for a buyer. And you walk in, you expect something to be a certain way, and it's not.
Right.
So any little thing could trigger a buyer or a seller in these situations. That's why it's very important that we're very clear about everything up front with everyone, so everybody has the right expectations. In this case, he had, all the right because it was expected to be there, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It was attached. So, yeah. It was, that was early on in my career, so it was kind of tough for me that was a big learning curve for me to work with someone's emotions like that, especially when I was not expecting them to be as big as they were.
Yeah.
But we did work with the seller. I don't know exactly what we kind of worked out with them, but there was something that they offered to either extend the warranty on or leave at the property in addition, to kind of soothe that over. So
yeah, they didn't offer to buy a new mount or bring it back?
No.
Oh my gosh, that's so silly.
I think, I know. Looking back, it probably was the most silly thing that almost ruined a deal for me.
Yeah. And as a new agent, you don't expect something like this. So you're not maybe equipped just yet to deal with it in the moment.
Yeah.
Were you able to seek help from a broker in regards to this issue at that time?
Yeah, I did reach out to my broker and I just said, he's upset and I don't know that it's my fault necessarily, but I need to know what I can do to fix it. So we were able to appease that.
Yeah.
They got the house. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you know if your client still lives at the house?
I believe so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, he should be glad because it's probably worth a lot more than it was at that time. So he made a good investment at the end of the day. He should be glad that he closed at this time. Yeah. Tell me one thing that people don't know about you. Well, we learned earlier today that you really went for design.
Started school in interior design,
Yes, and that was the career path that you were taking, and you're at a different career path now.
Yeah.
So we did learn that about you, but what else do people not know about you?
I don't know. Probably a lot because I'm not online all that much. I don't know. I don't really have a fun fact about myself.
You don't have any quirky habits, any fun hobbies?
I am a big camper. I definitely like to go outside. I've tent camped in late fall, in the cold, in October.
Why?
It's fun. I just enjoy nature and being outside.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that process.
About the camping process?
Yes. What locations did you camp at? How do you prepare for it?
This kind of got big during 2020, actually, during COVID, when there was nothing we could do really indoors. And a lot of our friends kind of picked spots all around New York State to be able to gather. And I just sort of developed a love for being out in nature and disconnecting a little bit.
Yeah, that's amazing. You're not scared of bugs?
I got used to the bugs.
Oh, God.
The first night I didn't sleep.
Well, one last question about camping. How do you use the bathroom?
We usually find places there are buildings that have facilities in them.
Oh, okay. So you really camp glamp kind of thing.
It's a more of a glamping. There's tents usually, but also facilities.
I love it.
Don't worry.
That's fantastic. And do you prepare your food when you're camping, or do you bring food with you?
A little bit of both. There's stuff that's easy to prep that you don't need to refrigerate, and then there's stuff that you can cook over a bonfire if you've got that going on. So. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah,
I don't know if maybe one day I'll try it.
I can't see. Maybe a glamping situation.
Yeah. Amber, every agent has a dream listing, that they would love to have, whether it even exists in their local market or doesn't. What is your dream listing scenario?
I suppose probably a dream listing would be a really well-kept, like historical old home in Buffalo. We have such beautiful architecture from all different eras. Honestly, being able to highlight one of those and include the history behind something like that, you can tell a story, you can show off beautiful work. People want to come see it just to see it. That would be probably a dream listing for me to kind of highlight that.
Yeah. Elaborate more for people who are not familiar with what you're talking about in terms of Buffalo homes. What type of work you're referring to? Beautiful work that people would love to come see.
Yeah, we have a lot of turn of the century homes. We also have a lot of mansions here that just have gorgeous stonework, marble, big yards. There are carriage houses from back in the day when there were people that lived there as well. These properties are just very unique. The woodwork inside is unmatched and probably unable to be even done now without a lot of money and skilled work behind it. So seeing stuff, even just the layouts for older homes, kind of tells a story of how they were used throughout the years.
Yeah.
And the details in workmanship in that is something that you can show off in addition to the house and the yard and the location.
Yeah. So some of the features I see in some of these homes, like a butler's pantry, right? People used to have butlers.
Yeah.
Then you have the help staircase, separate staircase.
The back staircase is always
to the attic usually. Yeah. The different unique things like that.
Even built-in shelvings and, just hidden little nooks and crannies that we don't include in buildings anymore. New builds don't have details like that always, so...
Yeah, and it's always refreshing to find a home that has all the original woodwork as well, and that it hasn't been painted.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of homes in Buffalo that have been, over the years turned into multi-units, and they've unfortunately gotten the paint treatment. And it's still, you still see the good architecture in there, but it is nice to see something that has been kept original.
Yeah. So you're a true Buffalonian then.
I am. Yeah.
Love that. So real estate could be hectic. It's, 24/7, we say. Technically we still sleep sometimes, but it is 24/7, right?
Yeah.
How do you manage your personal life, maybe some of your hobbies like camping, and still being able to be available and service all your clients, and now you're a part of a team as well? And you have colleagues and team members and so forth. How do you manage it all?
It's communication that is the most important part of that. When I was a new agent, I was almost nervous to be like, I'm going on vacation. I'm so sorry that I'm not going to be around here for you. But if you communicate with people, first of all, they won't stop texting you when you go on vacation. So that's not a problem. But then they know you're a real person too. They're going to look at your photos from vacation and know that you were there. You told them about it. You're coming back. That was huge for me to kind of realize that I'm allowed to have a life too, right? Because at first you just want to go and be available and be on top of everything. Answer the phone as soon as you can. So definitely that was an important thing for me. And I also start my days a little bit later.
Oh, okay. I love that.
I don't wake up later, but I don't jump into emails and work and stuff like that for a little bit because I know I'll probably be working the evenings and the weekends.
Yeah.
And
That's amazing.
Usually no one is up looking at houses at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm awake.
Do you have a morning routine?
I'll work out and do like a breakfast and coffee, but yeah.
So you like your morning time?
I do.
Yeah, that helps you
I'm a
take
night
charge.
owl, so yeah.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
I have my morning routine too. I have to start with coffee before phone, before email, before even talking to my husband, to be honest. It's my me time.
Love that.
And then some kind of movement, to your point, if the weather permits, like to ground and feel the sun, the fresh air. And I just so much more energized and ready to service our clients and my team members when I recharge in those ways.
Yeah.
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 Definitely. You can't pour from an empty cup, right?
No. Yeah. And it's taken some time to evolve that schedule as well. So
yeah. So we know you like camping. What's your favorite off-duty activity that's maybe not as elaborate as camping, but a daily activity?
A daily activity? I do like to check out new places around the city, whether it be, dinner with a friend at a new restaurant, or if I'm, starting my day with a showing somewhere in a neighborhood that I'm not usually in, I'll check out a cafe over there as well. I try to stick with local stuff. I try to stick with small businesses, especially in Buffalo. So yeah, I've found a lot of quirky little spots that are cool to explore.
Well, maybe share with us a place or two that you visited recently and why you like them.
Yeah, I found a little cafe. I think it's called Black Hearts Cafe. It's up in Tonawanda, and they're vegan. And I just really enjoyed the vibes in there. You kind of walk in, and you can order your drink up front, but there's a area in the back where you can sit and do your work kind of secluded. Yeah. So I enjoyed it for that.
Yeah. That's nice
as well. Yeah.
How about one of your favorite recent restaurants that you visited?
Ooh,
so many, right?
There's a lot. Yeah. I don't know that we've talked about this one, but one of my favorites to just go to in general is Daniela's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoy just popping in there. Good wine. It's always a good girls' night spot. Close to other bars in city life. So
yeah, it's one of my favorites as well. Yeah, I love their pistachio gelato, homemade pistachio. Not always they have it, but
I know. Yeah, that is good too.
Homemade pistachio gelato, the best in Buffalo for sure. All right, quick questions for choices: coffee or tea?
Coffee.
City or county?
Oh my gosh, this one's hard because I love both. For different reasons.
Yeah, you like to explore
I love
the city
life. I love finding a new place, but I also like the piece of the country.
And camping?
Ideally, I would have a house in both.
Have a house in both. Wow. Okay.
My city house and my country house.
See, I would choose a beach house.
That wasn't an option.
Over both. Yeah, well, it's an option for me, hopefully. Yeah. How about, well, we kind of already know this one. Day or night? Night.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Friends or family?
What?
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know that I should answer this one. Friends that are family.
Oh, God.
Was that too corny?
Or vice versa?
Vice versa.
Only the family that are friends.
Yeah. I have a strong group of friends, and I also have a very supportive, loving, big family. So that isn't impossible.
That's amazing to have all that support on both ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of brought it up earlier, actually, when you were asking about how if it was difficult to tell clients or other people in my life about the switch over to Hunt, to the real estate team, and everyone was excited for me.
Aww.
Everyone was pumped.
Yeah. So you got a lot of support. Yeah. That feels amazing.
Yeah, it does. It's very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, my goodness. Especially when you're making a huge move like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the next one. Sorry.
That's okay.
I had a good one lined up for you. Let's see.
My favorite color is green.
Oh, I love green too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wearing it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Green is one of my favorites. They say actually it changes your mood to happy mood. And apparently gray could be depressing. Like if you're in a room with green walls versus gray walls, it changes your mood.
Yeah, my favorite green in a room is a pop of color from a plant.
Oh,
I feel like they just make every room look so much more cozy.
so you like plants too?
Sure. Greenery inside, absolutely.
So you're a plant mommy? Do you have some?
Yeah, I have an outside garden, and then I have inside plants.
Yeah.
So I just threw a bunch of strawberries in this year.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Hopefully you bring me some.
I will. I'm hoping to grow a lot more. So
I tried to grow tomatoes last year. It didn't go out too well. Yeah, it didn't do well. No, I need some tips for sure.
A green thumb.
A green thumb. Yes. I don't have those. I don't have that one. Well, thank you, Amber, for being here with us today. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell our audience before we end our segment?
No. No, I don't know. I have nothing to say right now. Sorry. I don't know how to end these things very well, but,
well, I felt that you were big on balance, life and work balance, and embracing family and friends. So I love that. Thank you again for being with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Realtors Unfiltered, where real estate meets reality. If you're ready to buy, sell, or explore joining our team, visit us at inaslatifsalesteam.com. Until next time, keep it real.